Furries. It's true, I have never went to a furry convention, despite living in the same country as the biggest one in Europe. In my defense, it was always like 6 hours away from me. They actually moved recently because the convention got so big that they needed a new venue. So now instead of Berlin, it's based in Hamburg. So now it's only 4 to 5 hours away from me. Yippee! Which is also conveniently the same city the lead developer of my game resides in. I went to my first convention as an exhibitor in 2024. Dokumi, which is the biggest anime convention in Germany and is also incredibly close to me. So I feel very silly that I had literally never heard of it before then. It was spooky though, you know? Despite being anime and Japan focused, a lot of creators in all different genres have booths there, but they're mostly German. And of course I do have German viewers, but with my majority US based audience, I was very worried that I'd get like 2 people visiting my booth. But it was actually really cool. And it turned out to be worth it despite half the stuff I wanted to bring with me not arriving on time and my booth looking like a child put it together. This year's Dokumi went a lot better, I was way more prepared, and even more people visited me. Probably because I actually told people I was going this time. Anyway, this brings me to Eurofurence. Side note, apparently my channel turned a lot of people into furries, which I find really funny because aside from this video, I've mentioned furries like 1 time. But I guess it's that furry adjacent effect like the Lion King or Pokemon have. Either way, I never know whether to say you're welcome or apologize for that. But yeah, after easing into conventions with Dokumi, I finally set aside my fear of failure and decided to try out applying for Eurofurence. Several things went wrong, so I have decided to split up my retelling of events into mistakes. Mistake number 1 went like this. After a nerve-wracking wait after sending in my application, I woke up to an email with, "Unfortunately, we don't have the table size you applied for, but we can offer you a smaller one instead. Thank you for that heart attack." So I got accepted, but this table size was tiny. Don't get me wrong, a 130cm table is plenty for artists selling small merch like stickers and keychains, maybe a shirt or 2, but I had no idea how I was supposed to display my chonky loaf plushies, my not suspicious pillowcases, 4 different t-shirt designs, and the monitor I was planning to showcase my game footage with was definitely not gonna fit anymore. This was absolutely my fault, by the way. If I'd have actually explained in my application what I needed the space for, I think the con would have been a lot more willing to accommodate for it. Lesson learned, I'm still new to this con stuff, and I really appreciate that they even offered me the smaller table instead of just denying me altogether. Anyway, I decided to cross the table size bridge when I got there, and deal with mistake number 2, which was doing the thing that we somehow managed to do every single time, underestimate how much stuff actually fits in our car. Every time it's always plushies taking up 90% of space, so we had the absolutely genius idea of vacuum sealing each individual plush, which cut down the amount of boxes by like 2/3, with the added bonus of being easier for congoers to carry around. This would become mistake number 3. More on that later. Mistake number 4. The con offered cheaper parking tickets for dealers, but they were limited, so wanting to grab one as soon as possible, I decided we should head there right as the con opened on Wednesday. I'd also heard that furry cons famously have ridiculously long waiting times for registration being something you have to do in order to actually attend the events, visit the dealer's area, etc. And yeah, the line was pretty long. It took us about an hour to actually reach the end of the registration line, but we were still done by like 11 AM. And within the line I realized that the separate registration and setup times for dealers started at 5 PM. So there was basically nothing happening as well since the con itself really started on Thursday, so we had like 6 hours to do nothing. My favorite part about all of this was coming back to the convention center at about 3 PM after walking around the area literally doing nothing all day, and seeing how small the registration line was at this time. On top of that, the parking garage wasn't even that full, so we basically woke up stupidly early for no reason. Anyway, 5 PM happens, we register, now back to the consequences of mistake number 1. Working with this much smaller table size was surprisingly difficult, and we took like 2 more hours to set up than usual because of it. I think it turned out okay in the end, but it was extremely cramped and my banner that was way too big looked really dumb. But I did manage to set up a tiny tablet to show off my game, which a few people did notice, so that was cool I guess. But this was the point where we were faced with the consequences of mistake number 3. We released a few loaves from their vacuum-sealed prison, only to find that they were 1. Incredibly creased, which isn't too bad, they tend to return to their original form after a few days. But the main issue was, I guess because they were packed so tightly, the white fabric got stained from the ear and the tail of the plush. Also not the end of the world, I believe there are ways to safely wash the stains out, but I felt so bad selling these crispy plushies for full price and decided to discount them. Time for mistake number 5. Underestimating day 1. So, I'm used to Dokumi, which runs from Friday to Sunday. At that con, Saturdays are usually the busiest, I guess because it's a weekend and not everyone can come on Friday. But at Eurofurence, since it probably starts on the Thursday, Most people have a ticket for the whole convention, so I quickly learned that people visit the dealers and artists as soon as possible so that they have the best chance to grab everything they want to buy before they sell out. I'm very used to small waves of people visiting my booth with quieter breaks in between, usually when events and stuff are happening, which make good opportunities to go to the bathroom or grab food. But on Thursday, my partner and I were literally standing for over 3 hours handling the booth. There were that many people. Which brings me right on to mistake number 6. So, something I did last year at Dokumi was create a Dokumi themed shirt. A unique design inspired by the convention that is honestly really fun to design and a cute memento. So I did the same for Eurofurence. I took inspiration from the con's space theme, and I'm honestly really proud of how the design came out and the print itself looks amazing. But I didn't print enough and they sold out within 3 hours. I felt so bad spending the rest of the con telling people that they missed out. So just this one time, I've decided to set up pre-orders so you can have another chance to get this design over the next few days. I'm not planning to do this for any future designs, just this one because I goofed and it's really dumb. Even if you were literally at the event, you missed out because you didn't get the chance to come to my booth immediately as it opened. So check out the link in the description if you want to grab one of these. Pre-orders will close on— Shut up past me. Hi, future less sick Aaron here. So I wanted to post this video like a week ago, but I died. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But don't worry about that. The pre-orders are open till October 5th. You can grab them from my Salsa Shark shop. Salsa Shark is the little studio who's developing my game. And they wanted me to let you know that you can also directly support the game too through the shop. And get your name in the credits that play when you beat the game as a thank you. Or get your name on a gravestone within the game itself. Rest in peace. These are limited, so if you're watching this like 5 years into the future, which happens oddly a lot on my channel, they might be gone, sorry. Last thing, this is kind of short notice, but I hate relaxing, so I'm going to be at another convention in October called Polaris, along with Salsa Shark, so you can come say hi to me and play my game. Wow. Okay, back to the video. Overall, the con was really cool though. Everyone who came to my booth was incredibly nice, everyone was in such a good mood, and it was honestly really funny, leaving the dealer's den at 6 PM, extremely tired and exhausted, and just walking past hundreds of people in fursuits partying until like 2 AM every night. Something that also happened a couple times was a member of the security coming up to my booth, and I always saw that they were security, and I was like, oh no, what did I do? Am I not allowed to display my game? Does my booth look terrible? Am I breaking some kind of safety violation? And then they would just be like, hi Chipflake, I really like your videos. I would like to purchase one keychain, please. They were all so nice. The convention's in such a great location. It's really easy to travel to. You can just leave and grab food and come back whenever. It's probably really fun as a regular con goer, and I hope I could experience it like that too one day. To be real with you for a second, I find it hard to convince myself to go to events like this without using my job as an excuse. I guess I just struggle to feel like I deserve to spend money on having fun and not just working. Like, in general. Even like, trying to draw for fun always turns into, how can I use this as an opportunity to improve so I can make better videos? Or, hey, maybe I should live stream this game instead of playing it by myself. I don't know. That's probably a discussion for a separate video. This is getting kinda long. I just wanted to say, EF seems really fun, and it's a shame that I didn't get much time away from my booth to check out the rest of the con. EF, please let us have more assistance. But maybe one of these days I'll allow myself to go as a visitor and have a proper first furry convention experience. Feel free to recommend me other conventions I should check out in the comments. Don't forget to check out the link in the description for the shirts. I also still have some leftover non-crispy loaves in my shop, if you didn't manage to grab one of those either. Wishlist my game that's coming up very soon, and wash your fursuit.